Hey guys, it's Miss McLean, and today for our Adulting Skills series, we're going to touch a little bit on dining out in fine restaurants. What are some of the proper things that we need to do, and what are some of those things that we don't want to do when dining in a fine restaurant? Okay, so first things first, you may be a little overwhelmed when you come in and you sit down at the table and you find multiple types of silverware, right? You may see multiple glasses on the table, multiple plates, napkins. All of this, especially if it's your first time going into a fine dining restaurant, can be quite overwhelming. So just a quick couple of tips that we want to follow in any restaurant that we go to, right? If you are given a napkin on your plate, in front of your plate, it may be presented somewhere around in your dining table seat area. You always want to take that napkin and put it on your lap. And this is for men and women, right? We just want to take our napkin and we can just simply place it on our lap, okay? So, and we're going to use that napkin to wipe our hands, wipe our mouth. But what we want to do also, instead of wiping it on the top of the napkin, we just want to open up your napkin a little bit in the inside and wipe your hands like that. So that way it don't show all the dirt on the outside of the napkin. Also, if you happen to feel something around your mouth or anything of that nature, just simply take your napkin from your lap and dab your mouth as such, and then go ahead and put it back across your lap. You will be given typically like a bread plate, and you might be given one glass or two glasses. Now, a glass like this would typically be like your water glass. You may be given wine glasses, and they have white wine glasses, red wine glasses. So if you're 21 and up, you'll be left with some wine glasses possibly. If not, if you just have one glass on the table, that's fine. That might just be your water glass. And if you decide to get another drink, they may bring you another glass with that type of drink. Also, just to remember when you use your silverware, most fine restaurants, places, and I'm not talking about the super high-end restaurants, most just regular fine restaurants will typically have at least 3 pieces of silverware, right? That would be your salad fork, your dinner fork, and a knife, okay? And whenever we're using our silverware, we want to work from the outside in. So for example, typically you're giving your salad first. That's the way in which they have the silverware lined out for you. So your salad fork will be used first, right? And they'll give you a salad plate. Sometimes the salad plate is already on top of your plate, but if not, they'll bring out the salad and they'll give that to you, and then you'll use your salad fork, okay? Once you're finished with that salad, you will leave that fork on that plate. So when the hostess come or the waiter comes and remove that plate, that fork is also removed with that plate as well. Okay, then your entree comes out and you're left with your dinner fork and your knife. And this is what you'll be using while you're eating, okay? Also, you have, typically you'll have your own bread plate. Now, how I remember where the bread plate is and where your glass will be, even when you're setting a table at home, is to remember like this. I can create a B with this hand, with my left hand, right? And I could create a D with my right hand. So D is always going to be on your right. Your drinking glass is always going to be on your right hand side. And your bread plate is always going to be on your left hand side. And you'll be able to remember this too if you ever go to a restaurant and say you are with multiple people and you see so many glasses and plates and everything so close to each other. You can remember which one is yours by remembering the simple rule. Your drink glass will always be to your right and your bread plate will always be to your left. Okay, so that way there's no confusion like, oh, is this my glass? Is that my glass? No, just always remember that and you'll know that that is your set, okay? So when it comes to eating your food now, you want to wait for everyone to get their plate, okay? That's just a matter of respect to wait for everybody to get their serving, get their plate first before we all eat. Now, if you're in a fine restaurant, most of the time, everybody's going to get their food pretty much at the same time, right? There may be a little delay here or there, maybe somebody got a steak or something or a certain type of dish and they need theirs, a little bit more time on theirs. But most fine restaurants are trying to get all the plates out at the same time so that way everyone can eat at the same time, okay? And when that happens, don't as soon as you get your plate, start digging in. Wait until everyone has their plate, and then once everyone has their plate, then you can begin to eat, okay? That's just proper etiquette right there. And when it comes to your silverware, you have your bread plate, you have your drinking glass here, and no elbows on the table. We're not sitting like this at the table. And you know why that is? Because you can easily knock over things if you have your elbows on the table. The most you're allowed to do is from here to here, you may have this part of your body, of your arm on the table here. You may have your wrist on the table. You may have up into this part on the table, but never elbows. If it goes to elbows, that's a no-no, okay? So you may go from wrist, you may have your wrist on the table, you may even have a part of your arm right here on the table, but never any elbows on the table, okay? Ladies, as far as your bags, you may have, if you have a chair where you can hook your purse onto the back of the chair, that's fine. If not, if you don't want your bag on the floor, which I understand most of us ladies, we don't want our bag on the floor because I carry germs and different things like that. We can simply put it behind our backs on the chair, so that way we can have a place for our purse if there's no additional seating. If there is additional seating at the table and no one is sitting there, then you may put your purse in that seat. Okay. Well, I think that's it. Also, remember to chew with your mouth closed. That's a big one right there. Remember to chew with your mouth closed. And and I think that is it. So, guys, if you have any questions on this, I know it's a pretty quick run through, but if you have any questions, go ahead and drop a comment below, and I'll try to answer them for you. All right, guys. Remember, Jesus loves you. All right, guys. Until next time. Bye bye.